Have you ever wondered why jobs are set up the way they are? Let's take a look at job design. Differences in the tasks and responsibilities for different jobs, or even for similar jobs in different companies, do not occur by chance. Managers consciously make decisions about how they design jobs to improve company performance. Job design involves determining the tasks and responsibilities that employees in a particular job are expected to perform, as well as how they need to interact with their coworkers to realize those contributions. Job design is a key component of effectively managing employees because it's one of the major ways to translate company goals into the specific actions that employees need to do in their jobs. When done effectively, job design helps employees focus on the tasks and responsibilities that optimize their potential contributions for competitive advantage. Some of the key issues managers must consider are: what tasks should you emphasize when designing a job? How simple or complex are the tasks? How many tasks can your employees perform? And how much flexibility do you provide to your employees in terms of how and where they carry out their tasks? In addition to deciding how to design jobs, managers must understand the competencies that a person needs to have to be successful in performing the job. This secondary aspect of job design is called job analysis. Job analysis is the process of systematically identifying the tasks, duties, and responsibilities expected to be performed in a single job, as well as the competencies, the knowledge, skills, and abilities, known as KSAs, employees must possess to be successful in the job. Two important outcomes of job analysis are the creation of job descriptions and the identification of job specifications. Job descriptions are written summaries of the specific tasks, responsibilities, and working conditions of a job and include a list of the job specifications. Job specifications are the specific competencies required by a job holder to be able to perform a job successfully. Job descriptions and job specifications serve as valuable tools for other employee management activities managers must perform. The ultimate goal of job design is to enhance company performance. There are two considerations from this perspective. First, managers have to understand the role that different jobs play in attaining competitive advantage for the organization. Each job is unique and adds value in different ways. What specific tasks and responsibilities, if performed as expected, will maximize the value added of each job? Second, managers must make decisions about how employees will perform their jobs. These decisions shape the nature and extent of employee contributions towards company objectives. Most jobs may be performed in many different ways. Job design and job analysis also serve a critical role in managing employee attitudes and behaviors. Scientific management, pioneered by Frederick Taylor in 1911, emerged as a dominant perspective that examined how work should be structured to maximize worker efficiency. One of the primary contributions of scientific management was the standardization of the production process. This standardization included how employees performed their work, how employees' workdays were structured, and when and how often employees took breaks from their work, and how much responsibility employees were allowed on the job. One of the most famous job designs, the assembly line, was based on the principles of scientific management. The critical outcome of scientific management and efficiency-oriented approaches to job design is a detailed analysis of the specific tasks and worker actions to identify the ideal method or procedure for carrying out each task. One common method for this type of analysis is the time and motion studies, a systematic evaluation of the most basic elements of the tasks that comprise a job. Each job is broken down into its basic parts so that industrial engineers or managers can design jobs in a way that minimizes excessive movement or wasted time and that maximizes the time employees spend working on core job tasks. Job specialization is the process of breaking down jobs into their simple core elements. By focusing on the core elements of a job, a company is able to limit the variety of tasks employees perform and increase the efficiency in which they perform them. When repetition is built into a job, employees are able to master a specific task and perform it with increasing efficiency, which maximizes company productivity. Another technique in the efficiency approach is job simplification, which involves removing decision-making authority from the employee and placing it with the supervisor. By removing the discretionary components of jobs, companies are able to lower the necessary competencies required of employees. One benefit is that this opens up a wider pool of job applicants, and jobs can be staffed faster. Job simplification also reduces the amount of time that employees might spend thinking instead of doing their jobs. Employee training can be more focused and, as a result, more cost-effective. Of course, a common result of job simplification, high repetition, and job specialization is that jobs are narrow in focus, without much, if any, discretion afforded to employees. These jobs could be performed efficiently, but they often lack complexity and variety, which can lead to boredom, fatigue, and diminished job satisfaction. A motivational approach focuses on making jobs more interesting, challenging, and complex to encourage employees to want to work as effectively and efficiently as they can. The most famous motivational approach of job design is the job characteristics model, as shown here. The job characteristics model identifies 5 dimensions and 3 psychological states of employees that affect employees' internal motivation and satisfaction, as well as absenteeism, turnover, and productivity. The 3 psychological states are experienced meaningfulness at work, experienced responsibility for outcomes of the work, and knowledge of the actual results of work activities. The 5 core job dimensions are skill variety, the degree to which the job includes different tasks and activities that challenge an employee's skills and abilities; task identity, the degree to which the job involves completing a whole identifiable piece of work; task significance, the degree to which the job has a substantial and perceivable effect on the lives of others; autonomy, the degree to which the job permits substantial freedom and discretion to the individual in scheduling the work and in determining the procedures to perform the work; and finally, feedback, the degree to which performing the job requirements results in the individual receiving direct and clear information about the effectiveness of his performance. The greater the existence of these 5 job dimensions, the more motivation employees should feel in their jobs. The first 3 job dimensions influence the psychological state of employees, whether they feel that the work they perform is meaningful and valued. The more skill variety, task identity, or task significance within a job, the more experienced meaningfulness an employee is likely to feel. Viewed together, when these job dimensions are low, employees tend to be less satisfied with their jobs and less motivated to work hard. In contrast, employees in jobs that are designed to support the 3 psychological states have higher internal motivation to perform well. How well this model works depends, in part, on the individual employee. Some employees have a higher need for growth in their jobs than others. Growth need strength is the extent to which individuals feel the need to learn and be challenged, the need to develop their skills beyond where they currently are, and a strong need for accomplishment. Employees with high growth need tend to respond more strongly to the presence of the 3 psychological states than employees with low growth need. One implication of this discussion of growth need strength is that it highlights the importance of considering the fit between individuals and job requirements when making staffing decisions. Job enlargement is the assignment of additional tasks to employees. This involves increasing the volume or variety of tasks that are of a similar level of difficulty and responsibility. One of the primary benefits of job enlargement is that increasing the number of different tasks an employee performs causes skill variety to increase as well. Greater task and skill variety are effective in countering boredom and fatigue. Job rotation means moving workers from one job to another job within the organization to provide exposure to different aspects of the company's operations. Unlike job enlargement, job rotation does not change the tasks of a particular job. Rather, it changes the tasks that an individual employee performs by moving them to different jobs in a systematic manner. One of the major benefits of job rotation is that it can break the monotony of performing relatively simple jobs while still ensuring efficiency in the performance of each specific task. Another benefit is that companies can use job rotation as a training tool to ensure that employees are able to perform a number of tasks and have a broader overview of the company. A manager in training, for instance, may work for several weeks or months within the marketing department, rotate to a team within the production department, and then move into the design department. Job enrichment increases the level of responsibility or control employees have in performing the tasks of a job. In some ways, it's useful to think of job enrichment as an opposite approach to the job simplification. As job simplification removes the most cerebral or higher level aspects of work and allocates them to managers and supervisors, job enrichment, also called job empowerment or delegation, entrusts higher level tasks and responsibilities to employees. Empowerment builds on the job characteristics model dimension of autonomy, but takes it a step further by permitting employees to not only have input in how to carry out their tasks, but also autonomy to modify the job itself. When delegated authority and responsibility, employees often realize heightened job satisfaction and task performance. There are a number of ways to accomplish job enrichment, including the following. Provide employees with discretion to set schedules, decide work methods, check quality, and help less experienced employees. Provide employees with greater amounts of authority. Allow employees freedom to decide when to start and stop work, when to take a break, and how to prioritize their work. Next, encourage employees to solve problems as they encounter them. Provide employees with knowledge and control over budgets. As an alternative to transferring decision-making authority to employees, managers can also improve employee satisfaction by increasing employee participation in decision-making processes. Participation is the extent to which employees are permitted to contribute to the decisions that may affect them in their jobs. In contrast with job enrichment, participation does not necessarily transfer responsibility or discretion to employees. It does have a similar benefit, however, by allowing employees to take part in decisions that affect their jobs. A specific form of participation, called the voice, gives employees access to channels within their company to complain or express concerns about their work situation. Whether the channels for employee participation are formal or informal, the more employees are able to have a say in the aspect of their work that impacts them, the more satisfied they're likely to be in their jobs. There are several basic types of teams: work teams, parallel teams, and project teams. Work teams are typically well-defined, stable, and have full-time members working under the direction of a supervisor to produce some good or service. Parallel teams pull people from different areas of a company to address a particular problem or issue. Parallel teams include quality circles and problem-solving teams. One distinction of parallel teams is that members retain their formal positions in their own departments while working on the team. These teams exist in parallel to the existing organizational structure. Project teams are unique because they typically exist for a limited time under the guidance of a project leader. Often, project team members disband once they accomplish a particular objective, such as the design of a new process or product. Teams offer a number of benefits to managers. By integrating individuals with diverse experiences and talents, teams allow members to examine issues from multiple perspectives, which would not be possible with individual employees working in isolation. And when teams are comprised of members with complementary abilities, they may be able to achieve performance levels that exceed the potential of individuals working alone. Team-based job designs also have the potential to improve employee interaction and social support of team members. When team members are cross-trained, multiple people can perform team tasks, which increases task variety and reduces boredom and fatigue among employees. In addition to these benefits, research has shown that higher levels of self-management in any of these types of teams leads to greater motivation, job satisfaction, and effort among team members. In self-managed teams, the team members, rather than a supervisor of the team, work collaboratively to make team decisions, including hiring, planning, and scheduling decisions. One of the major reasons that self-managed teams are effective is that they are based on the principle of empowerment, as we described earlier. Decision-making rests with the team members who, after all, are responsible and accountable for carrying out the team's tasks. By giving authority to a team, a company may be able to cut bureaucracy in decision-making and improve the effectiveness of the team. Of course, there are potential downsides to team-based structures. Teams require high levels of interaction among team members, and their success depends directly on the willingness of team members to share their knowledge and ideas. If there's a low degree of trust or insufficient face-to-face interaction, teams may not be able to meet their objectives. A job description is a written summary of specific tasks, responsibilities, and working conditions of a job. Job specifications are the competencies, the knowledge, skills, abilities, or other talents that a job holder must have in order to perform the job successfully. Job descriptions and job specifications are technically separate, but most organizations include job specifications as part of the job description. While there's no standard format, most job descriptions provide the following information. First, the title. The first portion of the job description usually states the title of the job and the specific level, if any, of the job in a particular job grouping. Next is job identification. The job identification section specifies important administrative aspects of the job, such as the department in which the job is located, who conducted the job analysis, when the job was last analyzed, the wage category of the job, and the job code if the company uses a classification system. Next are the Essential Duties and Responsibilities section. The Essential Duties and Responsibilities section is a summary of the key tasks, worker behaviors, and responsibilities of the job. These statements, called task statements or key result areas, typically appear in order of importance or in order of the time each task takes. Some organizations distinguish the essential duties from marginal duties and responsibilities in this section for legal purposes. The final portion of the job description outlines job specifications. This section documents all the qualifications that a job candidate must possess in order to successfully perform the job. A key point is that job specifications are requirements for job success, not desirable attributes that go beyond what is required. A clear job description with job specifications is critical for effectively managing employee competencies and behaviors. Given the importance of job descriptions and specifications, both for company success and legal compliance, it is critical that these documents accurately represent each job. The accuracy in identifying the tasks and qualifications of a job rely on collecting and analyzing information about each job, a process called job analysis. Job analysis is the systematic study of the tasks, duties, and responsibilities that are expected to be performed in a single job. The primary goal of job analysis is to attain a clear understanding of what is expected to be performed in each job through job descriptions and the specific competencies necessary for successful performance on the job, known as job specifications. Observations are one source of information about the tasks performed in a job. In this approach, a manager or job analyst observes and documents all the activities performed by current job holders while they work. One of the primary advantages of this approach is that it's based on actual work behavior rather than on someone's memory about what a job involves. In addition, the neutral perspective of the job analyst helps reduce bias or inflation in identifying the tasks that job holders may claim to perform. However, it is sometimes difficult to capture all aspects of a job through observation or to observe all tasks for jobs that are not standardized or simplified. The job of a consultant or a supervisor, for example, may be difficult to accurately analyze using observation because of its many diverse tasks. In addition, observation may miss tasks that are performed infrequently and may not fully capture tasks that require considerable judgment. A variation of the observation approach is to ask employees to keep diaries or logs of the tasks and activities they perform throughout the course of a day, week, or a month. In this approach, employees, rather than a job analyst, observe their own actions on the job and document them in a diary. Another method of gathering data about a job is conducting interviews. In this method, a job analyst conducts structured interviews with job holders and supervisors, using a series of job-related questions to identify the tasks and responsibilities of a job. The advantage of this approach is that it can uncover or clarify work tasks that are not directly observable. The interview approach allows a job analyst to discuss such aspects of the job with the job holder. The interview approach can, however, be time-consuming for analysts and interviewees. In addition, this approach depends on the ability of job holders and managers to accurately convey all of the tasks and responsibilities of a position. Employees and managers may believe that there is a benefit to exaggerating or inflating the types of tasks performed in their jobs, a situation that is especially likely to occur if the results are linked with compensation decisions. Questionnaires provide yet another method of gathering information about job tasks and responsibilities. While the interview and observation methods are time-consuming, questionnaires can be used with a large number of individuals at the same time. In addition, using the same questionnaire for all positions provides standardized types of data across all jobs. However, the questionnaire approach requires considerable upfront work to ensure that the questions capture all dimensions of the jobs surveyed. Another limitation of questionnaires is that, unlike interviews, they don't offer an opportunity for immediate follow-up questions that may provide additional insights into the jobs. Also, they assume that individuals completing the questionnaires accurately understand all of the questions asked and can clearly communicate the answers in writing. A final method of collecting information about jobs is using the Occupational Information Network known as ONET, located online at www.onetcenter.org. The ONET database, created by the U.S. Department of Labor, is a comprehensive source of information for over 950 occupations. One of the primary advantages of ONET is that it offers managers an online resource to help with the job analysis process. It's especially helpful to managers who do not have a full-time HR department or job analysts to assist them, as in many small businesses. Rather than completing the entire job analysis process themselves, managers can build on ONET job descriptions that have been generated for similar positions across a large number of companies. Finally, accessing ONET online does not require substantial capital investment. It's free. The outcome of job analysis is job documentation. After completing job analysis, a job description can be created or revised. Job analysis is the systematic study of the tasks, duties, and responsibilities that are expected to be performed in a single job. The primary goal of job analysis is to attain a clear understanding of what is expected to be performed in each job, and the specific competencies that are necessary for successful performance of the job. Several techniques may be used to analyze job information, classified as either standardized or customized approaches. Job analysis techniques differ in terms of whether they focus on a standardized approach to categorizing jobs or a customized approach to studying the unique dimensions of a particular job within a company. Second, they differ in terms of whether they focus on identifying the tasks performed in each job or the needed competencies, knowledge, skills, and abilities required to successfully perform each job or both. There are two distinct approaches to analyzing job information. A standardized job analysis approach uses a single instrument, typically a questionnaire or ONET, to collect similar data that may be used to evaluate multiple jobs within a company or across companies. This approach identifies underlying job dimensions that apply to a variety of different jobs and that allow comparisons of dissimilar jobs in meaningful ways. The two most common standardized approaches used by companies for analyzing job data are the functional job analysis known as the FJA and the position analysis questionnaire known as the PAQ. The FJA is based on the notion that it is possible to systematically compare jobs that are dissimilar in the tasks they perform by focusing on the dimensions that apply to all jobs. The functional part of its name represents functional categories, which are broad categories of work-related activities that are applicable to all jobs and focus on three distinct work dimensions related to data, people, and things. The PAQ is a standardized survey that measures a number of different employee work-related behaviors necessary to perform a wide variety of tasks in different jobs. Sometimes, managers need to conduct a more customized analysis of jobs within their organization, whether it's for a newly created position or a unique position that's simply not captured through standardized approaches. Customized techniques allow managers to develop a job description and specifications that represent the unique attributes of a job. The three primary approaches for customized job analyses are the critical incidence approach, the task inventory approach, and the job elements approach. The critical incidence approach focuses on obtaining specific, behaviorally focused descriptions of work activities that distinguished exceptionally good performance in a particular job from exceptionally poor performance. The task inventory approach focuses on collecting information to identify the tasks that are necessary to successfully perform a job. Finally, the job element approach focuses solely on analyzing the employee competencies that are necessary for successful performance rather than the tasks to be performed in a job. When adopting a customized approach, observations, diaries, and interviews may be preferred as data collection techniques to allow collection of unique information about specific jobs and specifications. Balancing the conflicting demands of work and family or other personal obligations is difficult for many employees. Demands for travel or overtime, for example, may conflict with personal demands to spend time with family. To help employees achieve this balance, many companies offer flexibility through several alternative work arrangements, FLEXTIME, compressed work weeks, and job sharing. With a FLEXTIME work arrangement, employees may choose the starting and ending time of their workday as long as they work the appropriate number of hours per day or week. Often, FLEXTIME requires employees to be at work during a predetermined set of core hours in which all employees must be at work. According to the 2014 National Study of Employers, about 41% of companies have flexible work schedules that allow employees to vary the time they begin or end their workday. While FLEXTIME provides employees with choices regarding the hours that they work each day, a compressed work week provides the option to reduce days worked. According to the 2014 National Study of Employers, 43% of companies allow some employees to work longer hours or fewer days for at least part of the year. The most typical form of the compressed work week is the 410 or 440. In this approach, employees work 4 days in a week instead of 5 days, but work for 10 hours per day rather than a typical 8-hour workday. A third form of flexible work arrangement is job sharing, which consists of having two employees work part-time to complete the tasks of a single job. In this scheme, the two job holders work out how to split the work and responsibilities and establish ways to coordinate with one another to complete job tasks. The job may be split in any way, but a common arrangement is for both employees to work 2.5 days per week. The pay and benefits are split among the two employees, so the company does not incur any additional cost compared to the job being performed by just one person. The prevalence of job sharing in organization varies. One study noted that 29% of employers offered job sharing for some employees, while 1% allowed it for most of their employees. Establishing flexible work arrangement clearly requires costs and effort. Organizations that implement these programs, however, often find that the programs help employees to remain effective contributors toward company goals and provide an additional point of attraction for many potential job applicants. One of the most prominent environmental factors that has influenced job design in recent years is technology. One major impact of technology on job design is increased presence of telecommuting. There are a wide range of statistics regarding this phenomenon. A recent report suggests that 38% of Americans work at least some hours at home each week. A recent survey from the Society of Human Resource Management suggests the number of companies offering telecommuting has increased from 20% to 60% between 1996 and 2016. Telecommuting offers many benefits to companies and employees. Perhaps the most important benefit is that it provides flexibility in the hours and location of work. Because employees can perform work from home or from a satellite location, they do not have to spend time commuting to and from a particular site. This arrangement also benefits individuals who might not be able to commit to a traditional 9-to-5 workday with a commute because, for example, they're caring for children or aging parents. By providing flexibility in when and where the work may be performed, telecommuting can help employees achieve better work-life balance. Of course, there are some potential drawbacks to telecommuting or working remotely. Establishing telecommuting policies requires technology. The cost of providing employees with computers, internet access, machines, and other equipment may be prohibitive for some organizations. Smaller companies do not have the same resources that larger firms have, and they may struggle to provide these options to their employees. It's also possible that relying too much on telecommuting may erode the environment at work. Despite the potential drawbacks of telecommuting, many organizations realize that, when done effectively, telecommuting can have a positive effect on employees and help them contribute to company success. Advances in information technology have provided companies with the ability to use virtual teams. The trend towards virtual teams is understandable, given the growth in telecommuting and the fact that virtual teams do not require face-to-face interaction. Virtual teams are able to respond quickly to pressing issues, problems, and opportunities. An additional organizational benefit of virtual teams is that their use dramatically expands who can be part of a team. Virtual team members may be located anywhere in the world, a benefit that is particularly helpful for companies operating on a global scale. Virtual teams require the appropriate technology to communicate quickly and effectively with other team members, however, and employees must be trained on how to use the technology. Some of the practices that have been identified for effectively leading virtual teams are: establish and maintain trust through the use of communications technology, ensure that distributed diversity is understood and appreciated, and manage the virtual work-life cycle or meetings. Monitor team progress using technology. Enhance the visibility of virtual team members within the team and outside the team in the organization, and enable individual team members of the virtual team to benefit from the team. Technology has a critical impact on job design in organizations. FJA is based on the notion that it is possible to systematically compare jobs that are dissimilar in the tasks they perform by focusing on several job dimensions or functional categories of job tasks rather than on actual tasks. Functional categories are broad categories of work-related activities that are applicable to all jobs and that focus on 3 distinct work domains related to data, people, and things. According to this approach, all jobs comprise these 3 job dimensions and vary in the functional levels or levels of difficulty associated with these dimensions. A popular form of the FJA approach is the Dictionary of Occupational Titles known as the DOT, created by the Employment and Training Administration and published by the U.S. Department of Labor. The DOT was eventually replaced by the Occupational Information Network. The ONET system can be accessed online or through a variety of public and private sector career and labor market information systems. Under the sponsorship of the Department of Labor's Employment and Training Administration, known as the ETA, ONET data collection activities are conducted by the National Center for ONET Development, located in Raleigh, North Carolina. Data are collected directly from incumbent workers in targeted occupations at businesses statistically selected from a random sample. These workers complete standardized questionnaires that are analyzed and incorporated into the ONET database periodically. The new occupational information is made available through the ONET online application and in downloadable ONET database files. The ONET database is a comprehensive source of information for more than 950 jobs. One of the primary advantages of ONET is that it serves as an online resource to help managers with the job analysis process. Managers can look at ONET as a starting point for job descriptions and an understanding of the specific knowledge, skills, and abilities to seek when filling a position, especially for jobs that might not have existed in the company previously. This type of standardized approach requires identifying underlying job dimensions that are applicable to a variety of jobs, allowing for comparisons of dissimilar jobs in meaningful ways. The Position Analysis Questionnaire, or PAQ, is a 194-item survey that measures a number of different employee work-related behaviors necessary to perform a variety of tasks in different jobs. Of these survey items, 187 relate to worker behaviors that employees must display to successfully perform the required tasks of a job, like estimating sales or analyzing information. These 187 survey items are designed to measure the extent to which 6 broad job domains are representative of a particular job, including information input, where and how do employees get the information they need to perform the job, mental processes, what reasoning, decision-making, planning, and information processing activities do employees perform in the job, work output, what physical activities are required to perform the job and what tools are used, relationships with other persons, what relationships with other people are required to perform the job context, what are the physical and social aspects of the work environment in which the job is performed, and finally, other characteristics. What activities, conditions, or characteristics other than the previous 5 are relevant to the job? The underlying logic of this approach is that while specific tasks performed across jobs may differ, there are certain work behaviors common in the performance of most jobs. Procedurally, this approach follows a simple format. First, a job analyst assesses the extent to which different job elements are involved in a particular job. This is usually done through observation of the job and interviews with current job holders and supervisors. Then, the analyst rates the applicable job elements in terms of their importance to the job, the amount of time spent on the tasks, their extent of use, their possibility of occurrence, and any other special codes. Finally, these ratings are sent to the PAQ corporate headquarters, where they are scored and a report is generated regarding a job's scores on each of the dimensions. Because the PAQ is widely used for job analysis across many companies, results that are submitted to PAQ headquarters may be used to identify comparisons between similar jobs in different companies. Of course, as with all standard techniques, the PAQ has trade-offs. The disadvantages of the PAQ are that it's fairly complex, sophisticated, time-consuming, and potentially quite costly. And due to the complexity of the evaluation process, it's recommended that the PAQ be administered by trained analysts. In addition, the PAQ is believed to be more suited for blue-collar jobs than for professional, managerial, or technical jobs. Due to these limitations, the PAQ approach is not the most appropriate for analyzing every situation. The PAQ method does, however, provide an excellent method for classifying different jobs into a coherent structure that's useful for HR activities such as administering pay and benefit programs. And because these work behaviors may be linked to necessary job specifications, the PAQ may prove useful for staffing and training purposes as well. While standardized approaches focus on job dimensions that are represented in most jobs, customized techniques allow managers to develop job descriptions and job specifications that reflect the unique attributes of a particular job. We will look at three approaches for customized job analysis: the critical incidence approach, the task inventory approach, and the job element approach. The critical incidence approach obtains specific, behaviorally focused descriptions of work activities. Critical incidents are specific behaviors that distinguish exceptionally good performance in a particular job from exceptionally poor performance in the same job. This process of conducting a critical incidence analysis is fairly straightforward. First, individuals familiar with a job, such as supervisors, employees, or subject matter experts, identify the major dimensions of the job. Next, they specify behaviors that, when displayed on the job, lead to high or low performance in those dimensions. These behaviors, called critical incidents, are then reviewed by all knowledgeable individuals to ensure that all relevant job dimensions are captured and that all critical incidents for those dimensions are identified. The primary benefit of the critical incidence approach is that it focuses specifically on job behaviors that are critical for job success. Managers can use these behaviors as the foundation for other HR activities, such as training programs and performance evaluations. To be effective, however, the critical incidents that are identified should be specific and should focus on behaviors that are observable in the performance of a job. In addition, critical incidents must be detailed enough so that different individuals viewing the critical incidents will be able to understand the specific behaviors that drive successful or unsuccessful job performance. Whereas the critical incidence approach focuses on specific behaviors that drive success, task inventories focus on the tasks that are necessary for success. The task inventory method of collecting information generally involves asking current job holders or their supervisors to evaluate the extent to which different tasks are performed. After tasks are identified, they are rated in terms of their importance for job success, the amount of time devoted to each task, the difficulty of the task, and the time needed to learn how to perform the task. Although typically focused on the tasks required to execute a job, task inventories may be extended to also identify the job specifications or competencies necessary to perform the job. The third customized approach to job analysis is the job element approach. This approach is distinct because it focuses solely on analyzing the employee competencies that are necessary for successful job performance rather than focus on the tasks to be performed in the job. With this approach, people who are familiar with a job evaluate the specific skills necessary to perform the essential tasks. The essence of this approach is that it focuses on job elements, specific worker requirements that are necessary to perform a job. Job elements can be cognitive abilities, such as reading blueprints or understanding statistics, psychomotor elements, such as driving a car or operating machinery, or work habits, such as willingness to work long hours. After the job elements are identified by job analysts or subject matter experts, they are collected and evaluated along 4 dimensions. Barely acceptable, the number of barely acceptable employees who have this element. Superior, the degree of how useful an element is for distinguishing superior workers from average workers. Trouble likely, if not considered, the probability of trouble occurring in the performance of a job if employees do not have this element. And practical, the extent to which job applicants are likely to possess this element. Each element is then rated 0, element has minimal value, 1, element has some value, or 2, element has high value. Rating the usefulness of each element in each dimension provides additional information regarding which predictors are practically important.